Shakespeare's Pub at 7 a.m. every Saturday to watch the games.
Because all the games usually here in the UK take place on a Saturday afternoon, I discovered cider and boobs. So I had other priorities.
Okay.
What can you do? What can you do? Right, guys, just to let you know, we're now live. Hello there, everybody. We're going to dive into the show proper in a couple of minutes' time. Let everyone get settled and everyone get sorted. Just wanted to say thank you very much indeed to a couple of people. Thank you very much indeed to, I'm not going to mention their name because they did want to stay anonymous, but thank you very much indeed to a couple of people who've been sending me reports about Ace Comic-Con today. It's turning into a bit of a whirlwind of emotions. A lot of people having a lot of positives, a lot of people having some negatives, especially in the way of management, the way that the con's been organized. And I'm going to be hopefully doing a bit more investigation over the course of the next 24 hours once the con is actually done and dusted. And of course, once the dust has settled over that panel, which Kevin Smith moderated, which is now snowballing into something quite viral with some Q&A questions, which left everyone very uncomfortable. Also want to say thank you very much indeed to Graham Small. I don't want to go into too much details, but he has been incredibly generous, and I just wanted to say thank you very much indeed to him for his generosity. We are getting ourselves ready for San Diego Comic-Con 2018, and basically we are doing what we can to make our coverage here on An Englishman in San Diego and on Talkin Comic-Con as best we can. I know that me and Alyssa have not talked about the Monday show, the post-con wrap-up. We haven't talked about that yet. I think mostly
the
because
one we hobble to and have to drink like copious amounts of water just to stay coherent.
Oh yes, the one
yes, he just gave me that look.
the one where the hangover takes over. Absolutely.
Yes. The con hangover.
Absolutely. We haven't talked about that yet, mostly because Alyssa has been busy with her move, and number two, I'm still trying to put my convention into place. As soon as we get any details, if we're going to do it somewhere. I mean, I think the problem that myself and Alyssa have on this one is we have actually set ourselves a little bit too high of a bar, because we've done I'm on a boat, we've done I'm on a hotel veranda. We've kind of set ourselves a bit of a high bar on how to do this thing. So short of actually doing it at a IMDb boat or something, I've no idea.
I have an idea. I think we should do it in our PJs.
Okay, that's not something anyone needs to see in life generally. God. Okay, fair enough. Well, listen, we'll sort something out, and if we can get anything sorted, it may even be incredibly low key. It may be how we did it before, which is find ourselves a nice little quiet corner of a hotel lobby somewhere just to break down San Diego Comic-Con the Monday after. PJs, fine. Yeah, we'll sort something out. And last but not least, I just wanted to say thank you very much indeed to everybody who's still supporting us on our Patreon account. Like I say, it allows us to keep the lights on, allows us to pay for the hosting, allows us to do what we do here on the Hangout. So thank you very much indeed to everyone who's taken part in that. I am going to do my best to try and post some more exclusive stuff. I know I've been promising that for a week or two now, but I do have one or two things from a couple of recent cons, including a great Paul Shipper interview, which I did just as he was getting himself in place for Solo. So I've got that interview, which I'm going to be putting up online. Do go to patreon.com/EnglishmanSDCC. And of course, if you want to know when we're going to go live with these shows, hit subscribe. Go down below, hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications on. It lets you know when we are up and running, which we are. Top of the shop. Let's get on with it. It is Talking Comic-Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. My name's Leonard Sultana, and here we talk about San Diego Comic-Con, con culture, and all the pop culture stuff and nonsense that floats around it. We have a lot of fun talking to some great guests, which I'll dive straight into, because we've got ourselves in a slightly more settled location, and with someone sat next to her, we have Alyssa Franks from the Friends of Comic-Con Forum. Hello, Alyssa. How are you?
I am well. It's I'm making my way across the country. I am in Kansas City, and Andrea has Super Catchick has been so nice to host me. I was not feeling well enough to go out last night with the multitude of shots, which is probably a good thing. This way, hopefully I'm going to be coherent and have actual questions to ask our guest today. But Andrea is here with me. She brought me to a wonderful theater yesterday, and we'll go into that a little bit later on. But she is big into the horror scene in the Kansas City area.
Excellent.
So I thought she'd be able to add a lot to the con experience later on and the weekend television.
Cool. I mean, first things first, I know we've got a couple of people jumping in on the Q&A, and I'm certain the questions are going to start coming in. I'm going to ask my first question. Andrea, is her snoring as bad as Reputation puts forward?
Absolutely not.
It's a lie. It's a lie. Okay. Listen, ladies, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We also have ourselves a kind of last-minute guest because we got ourselves a press release. If you actually are on the press for San Diego Comic-Con, you do start getting 1 or 2 press releases through. We've got our first Image Comics thing through this week, so it's starting to roll out. And a press release jumped out at me, and it really did catch my eye because it's something which you step away from the convention. There's so much to see and do, and the town is taken over by some incredible offsites, including one, if anyone went to the Petco Park car park last year, you will have seen the Experience, which was a mini village of lots of different brands and really was a sight to see down there. In 2018, they're going all out. They really are taking it to a whole other level. And we have got ourselves the COO, so I'm going to guess Chief Operations Officer for Grandesign, Robert Ridgway. He's joined us. Hello there, Robert. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Not too bad at all. I know that we were also going to be joined by Aaron, but I'm guessing he's busy at the point.
We're only good together if we're in the same location. So because it's a Sunday morning, it would be we're too polite to each other. So it'd be no, Bob, you go. No, Aaron, you go. No, Bob, you go. So only one of us can be on this podcast.
Fair enough.
One American in San Diego.
Listen, we're down with because you're San Diego based, so you're
right.
Nice and local. So you know the location, you know the operation, and how to kind of get things done in San Diego. First things first, just explain who is Grandesign and what do you do?
Okay, well, Grandesign, we've been around for I think 8 years now. Aaron started the company with another partner. He's moved on, and it's really the two of us that kind of oversee the operations of Grandesign. And we both are native San Diegans, so the company really started here and in Florida, and we have offices all across the country. We're basically we started as just I don't know if the terminology is the same in England, but an out-of-home media company. We did billboards and stuff like that. That's probably about half of our company right now. Does the normal traditional, in this setting, kind of the more boring kind of advertising. And a couple of years in, we had clients coming to us and start asking about, doing some of the cooler stuff that is connected to that advertising. And so we started getting into what we call experiential marketing and advertising. And it's something that you guys started overseas a lot earlier than we did. It caught on. That live kind of touch and feel type of brand, kind of awareness and in advertising started really, I think, in England. Way before it caught on here. And now it's really starting to catch on here. As you see, when you guys go to Comic-Con, you go to any convention, you go to, CES in Vegas, you go to Comic-Con in San Diego, you go to WonderCon. A lot of stuff happens outside of the convention now. Like you just said, there's a lot of offsite activity. And with us being the experts in that now, which is the other half of the company, is experiential. And from experiential, we've grown into managing venues, and that's kind of the first big venue that we have is the Experience, which we'll talk about today.
Excellent. Last year's, was it the first one that you'd put together for last year? Because it really did catch a lot of people's attention. in San Diego last year?
Yeah, no, we actually did not put that one together last year.
Oh,
that
right,
was
okay.
that was managed by the Padres. So over the years, as experiential has grown and people have started to want to do more of the the activations and the experiences outdoors, around Comic-Con, both because it's a good environment for that, especially in San Diego with the gas lamp and all the people that gather there. But in addition to that, there's some things you just can't do inside. And inside of a convention center, whether it's the fire marshal or whoever it may be, or it's just too big of an activation, there's always an opportunity to do things like this outside. You know how you guys know the Super Bowl. It's like the World Cup is on right now, but the Super Bowl is our big thing. And around the Super Bowl, they have the NFL experience, which is for people that want to also enjoy something else that's outside of just watching the game. It goes on all week, and it's similar to what we're doing with the experience and what we do outside of the convention center with these experiential activations. So no, we didn't run it last year, but the last 8 years we have done stuff. I don't know if you've been behind the convention center last year and you saw the Adult Swim, that took over the grass behind the convention center. They had a whole bunch of stuff going on there for Rick and Morty and some of their other shows. We did that activation. We did, I don't know if you saw the wrecked island for TBS. There was a barge that floated down we built it in Los Angeles.
I'm just going to say, you've just talked about the two of the most eye-catching activations that took place last year.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that Adult Swim area was just incredible.
Yeah, and it will be again this year.
We probably slept close to them. We spent more time next to them than anywhere else because we were sleeping there.
Oh, the truth hurts.
Yeah, the wrecked one, I have to say, was very nice. I loved that activation. I was able to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. That's fun. So we do those things. So basically, what we've done at Comic-Con the last 8 years is do stuff like that. That's most of the outdoor stuff that you see in the immediate area of the convention center. Plus, inside of last year, it was called the Interactive Zone. We changed it to the Experience this year. So we've been talking to Petco or the Padres for the last couple of years about not only doing the activations inside, but starting to make the Interactive Zone an experience in itself, and not just have the individual experiences inside. And because we do that, it's just like doing a bigger production for us, where we have a whole bunch of stuff going on inside the experience. And so this will be the first year. This is the first year that we do this, that we run the entire venue.
I'm just going to say it must be a bit of a challenge to kind of, because it sounds like what they've done is they've had a space, they've had brands come in to take up certain areas, but your challenge now is to kind of make it more of a cohesive whole.
Yeah, exactly. That's the exact challenge, and we got kind of a late start. We talked to them right after Comic-Con about doing this last year, and it wasn't until maybe December, early January, that we decided, hey, the Padres trusted us because we've been there for a long time, doing activations not only for Comic-Con but working with them since we're in San Diego. So they trust us to take it over, and they've done a great job putting these different activations together inside of there. And that's the advantage that we can do, is we can kind of make it one cohesive experience, and organize it like we organize our normal activations.
Cool. I'll just bring up on screen the idea of what you're bringing to 2018, and we can see. I mean, this is the view from the west side of the. I'm trying to work out in my head. Yeah, west side from the direction, and you can certainly see the way that people can come in, move around, and see all the different activations. And I'm guessing those are food trucks down the bottom side there. I mean, can you kind of talk about? I mean, how long did it take for you to come up with the general idea and the layout for what you've got planned?
It took us. This is the first year of what we plan to do. This at least the next 3 years, and so we got a late start. We started in January, so we had to come up with this vision that you see in front of you in probably the first part of January. It's changed a little bit since then, but in general, it's similar to what this is. We've decided to use the entire parking lot this time. I don't know if you remember last time, but there was kind of parking at that west end that you just mentioned. and that's where the porta potties were and all that. But we've decided to make it, you know, where you walk through the experience to get to the bridge to walk over across the Hall H. So we're using the entire parking lot this year, and we are organizing it in a way where in that corner that you see right in front of you will be where food trucks are. There will also be, you know, if you remember last year, it was just on the blacktop, and I think it got into the 90s last year. It was really hot out there. So you can see with the organization of the food trucks, we'll have shade, we'll have tables, you can sit down, you can have a, you know, a beverage or get something to eat and cool off a little bit there.
Yeah, that's definitely, yes, that's definitely required. Fantastic. I mean, can we talk about the brands that have signed in and who we could be expecting to see at the experience this year?
Yeah, this week we will announce the brands that will be in there. So I don't want to go into that yet. I want to blast that out. And some of the brands, they have some cool stuff there. There's some really cool things that will be inside. It'll be a good mix of what you see at Comic-Con between movies, gaming, TV, comics. There'll be a good mix of those types of brands in there, and they'll have really. There's a couple experiences that will be in there. One of them's really simple, but it's probably something that we haven't really seen before. It'll be really cool, and I don't even think we're going to say anything about it until it actually happens, and you guys will get a kick out of it. But the other thing that we'll be doing though is
a hint.
Go ahead.
TV. No, he's not going there. Okay, never mind. I was just looking for a small hint. Sorry.
It'll be out shortly. It'll come out shortly. But there's some fun activations, some fun experiences people will have. I can tell you though that we will. This will be the first year that we'll have a nighttime experience that will close at around 7 o'clock with the activations, and we'll take about an hour to reopen, and then we'll have entertainment at night, which will be a first for the lot. So on Thursday night, without saying what it is, it'll be more of a, you know, let's ease our way into the weekend. It will be more of a viewing or a movie that will be playing, you know, with some maybe a small a band that plays for half an hour before we show some trailers, and then actually have movie night on Thursday night. Then we'll get into it on Friday night, same type of deal, where it'll go from about 8:30 to 11, where we'll have actually a concert with 3 bands, and we'll release that later this week. And then the fun one, I went to E3. I don't know if you guys go there. I went to E3 last week, and just the gaming and how esports has gotten to almost be like the 4th or 5th major sport here. They're taking over arenas, taking over stadiums. So on Saturday night, and throughout the days, we'll have this as well, but on Saturday night, we'll have an esports competition for that night. So there'll be different things to do each night, and they won't all be the same. They'll all be drastically different. But on Saturday night, expect to watch the pros play esports. But during the day, while you're in the experience, there'll be an opportunity for the fans in the experience to go play against the pro on the same set that will be doing the professional competition.
What's the capacity of this? I mean, do you have numbers for last year, and do you have an idea of how many people you can kind of comfortably fit into this? Because it looks like such an epic space. It
is. So if you remember, last year we only did it during the day, and we did it for the 4 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we just counted over 200,000 people that came through the experience. And so it's a lot. And now that we have the nighttime element, we expect it to be way more than that. So we've prepared, with the entrance and the exit that we have on both sides, the fact that lines can form around the fencing that'll be there. At nighttime, we'll probably have 2,000 to 2,500 people just at a time inside of there. It'll be adults only at night. Just for safety and the fact that we'll have a beer garden and other stuff.
I was going to ask. Is that the reason for the 1 hour?
That's the reason for the changeovers. I can tell you that there are things for kids to do in there. There will be kid brands that will be inside there during the day. But at night, it will be the brands will shut down, and it will be more of an adult kind of an environment to either watch a movie that's more of an adult movie. and the concerts and the esports competition as well.
Fantastic.
And we have the best tequila here in San Diego, so we have to feature that in the VIP area.
Hey, listen, I'm tequila Jack Daniels boy. I am down with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I mean, certainly when it comes to something like this, and I can imagine, and you see this with a lot of San Diego Comic-Con stuff, there is a lot of keeping a close eye on how things are progressing throughout the course of the weekend and being very kind of hands-on if things need to change and things need to adapt. I mean, do you get the chance to enjoy your own party, or do you kind of have to, is it all work throughout the course of the weekend?
No. I mean, that's part of our culture. Anything that we do is half work and half play. So that's our culture. That's what Aaron's really created with this company. So you'll see us. You're not going to be there in a boring T-shirt that says Grandesign on it. We'll probably have capes on and, be running around having fun ourselves. At the same time, we've done some good planning and we're able to troubleshoot and make sure all the clients and the fans are happy. But at the same time, we have fun. I have a good story too. We did an activation for Mission Impossible, the one before this one that's coming out this year in Hollywood, where we pulled people people walking by on the street into Hollywood and Highland. It's a huge mall. It's an iconic kind of mall there that's right next to where they have the Oscars. And we pulled people off the street to turn them into secret agents. They walked up to a display, and all of a sudden they got their mission, and they had no idea what they were going to be doing. And so at the end of it, they could qualify to be a secret agent and then fly to Vienna to meet Tom Cruise and see the premiere of that Mission Impossible. So with that, we had to hire a whole bunch of people in addition to the people on our staff that were on our headsets, because we had to coordinate as they ran through these different, they had to find a clue inside of a briefcase that 12 guys were carrying around. They had to swim through an aquarium underwater and get the next clue. They had to run up a wing of an airplane that was moving, and then they had to rappel from 3 stories up and hit a button to finish the competition. And with that, we had to hire a whole bunch of people, and they're all on the headsets with us. And in between contestants, you can see that the Grandesign people just have so much fun, and you could hear the other people that were the vendors that were on the headsets with us saying, "How do we get to work for this company? You guys have too much fun." They're all serious. They're going, when's the next one coming up? When's the next one? And we're just having fun. Well, did you see that girl fall off of that into the motor? Then at the end of it, we go through the course and run through it. So we try to have fun at the same time and it's easier to to have fun and work at the same time.
How well did you do?
What?
How well did you do?
I sucked. Me?
Yes.
Oh, I sucked at it. There was somewhere. Yeah, I couldn't even get up the wing. I couldn't even make it to the end. I was bad at it. I can't see how some of those people even made it through the whole thing. It's a workout too.
Incredible. Okay, I mean, so we're definitely sensing that this is just going to be a unique experience. It's the experience, capital T, capital E. That's what I really like the fact that it is just going to be somewhere for people to really kind of delve into all sorts of different bits and pieces, especially considering, like you say, you've done Adult Swim before, you've done all these other activations. Are you still going to be running activations throughout the rest of San Diego Comic-Con, or is your main attention going to be paid to the experience? Is it going to be kind of like the hub of what you do?
The experience is the hub of what we do,
yeah.
But we also Adult Swim is back on the grass. We still do that.
I've just suddenly realized I am actually now asking you what activations we've got going off around San Diego Comic-Con. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and I don't know if you saw Fandom. Fandom was inside of the experience last year. We throw their party on the top of the Hard Rock. We do a lot of other stuff. We do a lot of the signage on the Omni, the Omni Hotel. We do a lot of the signage that's on that, as well as signage in other places too. I think we have Amazon on there and Fox. I can say those. I just can't. The experience press release is coming out now. We have Mr. Mercedes on the Omni as well. So we've got some good brands that we're doing signage for. We've got Adult Swim. We've got Fandom having the party over at the Hard Rock. So we do a lot of stuff around Comic-Con.
Yes, we've got the notifications turned on for fandom, because that is one of the best parties to go to. They are always a good bunch.
Absolutely. What other have you done any other activations for other conventions like New York Comic-Con or anything else?
Yeah, if you saw the for Freeform, did you go to New York Comic-Con last year?
Yes.
Well, right across from the Javits Center, we took over that parking lot and the signs there for Freeform, the mermaid show that they have, Sirens. And we had an aquarium there with a mermaid in it, and we made the parking lot look like it was like in the set from that show. So we do stuff around a lot of other conventions. We went to WonderCon and kind of looked at what we could do there as well, and we'll be popping up. This managing the event space is new to us this year. So now you'll see us not only go to some of these conventions and do an activation or two around it, but where it fits, doing something like we're doing. We'll take this experience. It's called the experience in San Diego. If we go to something in New York, it'll be the experience in New York. It'll be the experience in Orlando, the experience in Las Vegas. So you'll see this, going around to different conventions where it makes sense.
Sorry, I am listening. Sorry, it's just I'm getting all sorts of questions coming in, which is really cool. I mean, certainly we've got a question asking. It is a free event, yes? The experience is going to be a free activation in and out, yeah? The
experience is a free event. During the day, it'll be a free event. When we do the 21 plus at night, there may be a charge because there'll be a beer garden there and everything like that. We don't know which nights will be which amount, but there may be a charge to get into because the events are limited to 2,500 people as well. So we have to control not only the crowd, but the lines and who gets in to the nighttime experiences. But the daytime is free.
Fair enough. And someone's also asking about Sundays, because obviously Sunday it's usually the quiet day of San Diego Comic-Con. Relatively speaking, it's the quiet day of San Diego Comic-Con. But what can people expect on the Sunday as the convention starts to wind down? What can people expect from the experience? Like you say, it's going to be kind of esports themed.
Yeah, not just, it'll be esports themed. There'll be esports every day at some point. Saturday night will be the esports night. But Sunday, there will be, if they want to come on a quiet Sunday and try out their skills against the pro, they can come in on Sunday and be on the main stage. We'll have a big LED screen there. And, they'll, if they are lucky enough to get up there and play against a pro and show off, they'll be able to see themselves or their family will, or on the big LED screen. We're planning. We may plan something. Of course, we're not doing anything at night on Sunday, but we may plan a morning activity as well, and that's kind of a TBD. But we'll let you guys know in the next couple of weeks what it might be.
And we'll be hearing in this week when what brands we're going to be expecting to see in the experience. Yeah.
By the end of the week, you'll hear what brands are in the experience. One thing too, just to make the point is, although we're not an official Comic-Con venue, we do work closely with Comic-Con, and there's a process that we go through with both Comic-Con and with the Padres about letting them know, kind of the things that are going on before we let everybody know. And we've tried to. Comic-Con's. They're a great group. They're a unique group. I think the one thing that we have in common with Comic-Con is our cultures are very different than other companies. And they really are a group of fans that put on a really successful convention. I mean, one example is one of the last meetings we had there. It was on a Friday, and I think it ended like at, 2 o'clock. And we were going to go to happy hour with the office, and we invited them. Hey, why don't you guys come to happy hour with us? And they said, no. We got to go. We're all going to see the Avengers today. So that's kind of the culture that we're working with. And so it's important for us to stay, in communication with them on the brands and when we release, what we're doing inside of there.
Cool. And someone's also asking what the opening times are. Do we have those details to hand?
Yeah, we'll open at 9. We'll open at 9. and we'll go till the daytime.
Is that on Wednesday as well, or is that from Thursday?
No, we're not. Wednesday we'll just have a private preview. We'll see. Wednesday's always tough to plan for, but there may be an opportunity to come do a walkthrough on Wednesday. But we won't be open during the day on Wednesday.
Well, I know that the person who sent out the PR for the experience, I think I'll be trying to hit her up to try and get in on the Wednesday just to have a look through, because like we've seen it here. It just looks incredible, and I can't wait to see this.
As both Leonard and I are press, you may want to consider, and yes, I'm putting myself forward here. You may want to consider accessing the CCI's press list.
Yeah.
And think about inviting some of the bloggers.
Yeah, our PR person does have that, and we'll definitely. I was just talking about fans. We won't necessarily have fans going through on Wednesday night, but definitely the press will go through, and we'll have that. We'll have that all set up for them.
Well, I mean, if we can get the chance, I mean, I'll certainly spread the word, because this just looks incredible, and certainly if anyone has seen any of the activations that Robert's talked about, I mean, if you've been in Adult Swim, you know the level of quality that goes on in there and how it looks, and just so much fun. It really is just so much fun, which is why I'm really looking forward to the experience and seeing what we can expect to see. I'm jazzed for it. I really am.
We do have one question from our chat. Is whether or not
from your cat.
From our chat box.
Oh,
one of our longtime viewers is in a wheelchair, and I'm wondering if you have any ADA accommodations, or will there be activities that they're able to participate in?
Yeah, that's important to us, and we do with every activation make sure there is some either way for them to experience it, or an alternative for them to do that may not be inside the experience. But I can tell you one is we have, because I saw it at E3, one of the brands will have their Samsung, and they have they have this huge trailer, and it's ADA compliant. You can, your wheelchair can go up and experience the entire experience. And so that trailer will be in our parking lot, and like with any of the other activations, we'll make sure that we have some sort of alternative for that.
Thank you.
And the one last thing, I'm going to bring up the picture again, because we have had a question just about this center section of the experience. You can kind of see a number of lines and some little bits and pieces here. Are those lines of people queuing up to take part in the activations up on the stage, or are those what are those?
No, those are, well, this is just, of course, this is just a vision.
Okay.
If you, I don't know if you put something out to your listeners or viewers, but I can send you something that's more of a later layout. This was more of a vision, and so that, like for instance, the food trucks are kind of all in the near corner on the right side. The stage is in the same place, but we decided to make the stage more of not just the stage, but a multi-purpose kind of a venue. So it's made up now of you'll see that's a really cool design of shipping containers, where you can have an experience inside the shipping container, but on top of the shipping container is a stage that can also be an esports gaming environment, and it can also be a VIP bar. So that's a little different than that. In the middle, there are just activations. There's some really cool ones in the middle where those people are lining up. So there maybe even be lines right there for those activations in the middle.
Now, you see, this is where you kind of disappointed me, because I was expecting to see Comic-Con experience signage on the Petco, over on the hotel in the background. I was expecting to see a plane, man. I was expecting to see a plane.
A plane? There's a plane up there. You see it? It's got a banner behind it.
Cool. Excellent. So listen, looking forward to seeing this, and like I say, we're only a couple of weeks away, and it's all starting to come together, so really looking forward to it. So you've got the announcement coming out next week. Where's the best place for people to get the latest updates about the experience?
Let's see. You can go to well, we'll send you places to go to find it as soon as we put them.
Excellent.
Oh, no, it'll be you, it'll be the bloggers, it'll be those, our company. I could say go to Grandesign.com or go to our Facebook page and look for it, but you can find it there. But we don't have the followers that you guys have yet. We just put on the show. We don't we aren't the show. So
I think
it's you guys that'll spread the word.
As more people realize who you are and what you actually bring to San Diego Comic-Con, and I mean, it's been a little bit of an eye-opener for me as well about how much you do around San Diego Comic-Con to bring certainly the visual cues and just the way that the experience. I mean, it does take over the town. It takes over the city, and that takes a vision. It takes a bit of it takes some serious skills to pull that off. And the fact that Grandesign are a major player in that, I mean, I think more people work that one out. I think the followers will go up.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it'll be fun. We're really looking forward to it.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to kind of bumping into you with a tequila in hand.
Yep.
Over the course of that weekend, I think that'll be a lot of fun. Listen, Robert, thank you so much indeed for coming on to talk to us about this activation. I think a lot of people are really jazzed. And listen, thank you very much indeed for coming on the show.
Okay, thank you guys. We'll see you there on Wednesday afternoon.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like
that's
an invite.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right, that's an invite. That's an invite.
Brilliant.
I'll have the tequila there.
Oh my!
He's an enabler. I see this.
Did you also catch the VIP bar thing that he said earlier when he was talking about the shipping containers?
Well, you'd have to come in that to get the tequila. We can't just walk around the entire experience with tequila.
Well, is vodka going to be there? That's my
vodka, tequila, beer. Okay. We have. I mean, San Diego's known for having a lot of the craft breweries. So we'll have definitely some of the craft beer there from San Diego. All kinds of stuff.
That's where you have the attention of my missus. That's where Caroline wakes up. Excellent stuff, Robert. Thank you very much for coming on, and looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
All right, thanks, guys.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you. Wow, looking forward to this. It's going to be. I mean, it looks impressive, and so I mean, if this is literally just the concept for the thing, it's just going to be an impressive thing to check out. I mean, I wasn't going to exactly say it while he was on air, but it's something that I've seen kind of from afar. I wasn't able to go into the space last year because there was so much other stuff going on. Mm-hmm. But this just looks, because it is a centralized kind of mini village of brands, it makes so much sense. So much sense.
Since I'm kind of dialing back on panels like Hall H and whatnot, I think that I'll probably be queuing up for this one, just because it looks so good, especially the live music on Friday night. I think to not have that, I think is missing a market, and I think they're spot on. I'm not so sure about the combination of E3 sports and geeks.
I kind of see it. I do kind of see it. At the end of the day, gaming is a massive element at San Diego Comic-Con, so it's just taking that up to another level. And I'm stunned, actually, it hasn't been done sooner, to be honest.
Well, I'm not talking about gaming. I'm talking about sports gaming. So I don't know, Andrea, do you do any sports gaming?
Hi, Andrea.
I have. It's not something that I play a lot of, but it's huge though. The esports thing in Vegas on the Luxor, they've got this like massive esports thing on the front of it now, just taking over kind of. But I've never actually played any of them. Is it kind of like VR sport, like you're actually like swinging a golf club, or do you know how it works?
I think it's more like your kind of your full-blown gaming. I mean, we would have to bring up some kind of video of it. Certainly, like the Eastern markets and kind of your God gaming kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, I know that we've got one or two people who are watching who are into esports. So yeah, it's not so much sports in the traditional realm. It's more console gaming and yeah, it's competitive gaming. So.
I'm seeing the chat box going, Andrew Dickinson, me.
There is.
And
there is.
Esports is all video gaming, is all video games.
Yeah.
So not just sports gaming. Great. I'm glad I'm wrong. you know. That's a good thing. So Sunday, Saturday night might be huge for a lot of people. And since they're shutting it down, just to point out what he said, they're shutting it down between 7 and 8. So I'm assuming that there's going to be a queue that starts.
Yeah, which kind of brings, well, that's going to link us into the next thing we're going to talk about. Because the one thing that San Diego Comic-Con has always had an issue with, or at least it's the biggest piece of the jigsaw puzzle for the entire convention, is line management, and it's about organizing the space in the city. Like you say, there's going to be a line going to try and get into this thing. I suspect what they'll do is they'll lead that up past Petco Park northwards, because that road is pretty available. But as far as I'm aware, that is also being used for shuttle stops. So that could prove interesting in terms of how they're going to actually organize lines for that. Which leads us on to the other big news of the week, which is
one of the other big newses of the week.
Yeah, one of the big news of the week. It was, I mean, there's been a whole bunch of headlines that have come out this week, but for myself, this was, I mean, this was kind of teased to us by Gil Cabrera a couple of weeks ago, and he turned around and said in a little chat that we had that it's more logistics, it's not sexy. At which point I turned around and said, when the announcement came out, this isn't sexy, this is serious stuff. And he, at which point his message was, okay, only you would find this sexy. And I went, yeah, fine.
Only we.
Exactly. Okay, the news is Harbor Drive is going to be closed. It's planned throughout the course of Comic-Con. It's basically going to turn the front area, the front thoroughfare, directly in front of the convention center into a pedestrian-only route, which is, so it's closed to vehicle traffic, and then it's going to actually turn Harbor Drive into one big shuttle stop, a series of shuttle stops. There's a little bit of an area where you can actually, if I can just bring this up to a little bit, there we go, a little bit bigger. So you've got here on the east side, where regular traffic can actually get into the convention center, but from basically directly in front of the convention center, it's going to turn it into a number of shuttle stops, which is going to be, as far as I'm aware, let me have a look at this. It's
so we're talking about shuttle stops on the East Side Drive, and that means that there'll be no buses and there'll be no cars in that front walkway, which will mean it'll make it a lot easier to get from Hall A to Hall H. Well,
there's that, and there's, I think, also the fact that because it did have the shuttle stops going up and down that road, and people were effectively kind of, they were sneakily going around the buses and using that walkway anyway. It kind of takes the risk out. It takes that.
Exactly. So it makes walking in front of the convention center so much easier. That may be a really good way of getting from one end of the hall to the other.
Although, I mean, all I could think was, as attendees, we do kind of use San Diego Comic-Con like air in a balloon, that we just end up filling space anyway. I'm just curious how full that road is going to get. So who knows?
There's that.
So I mean, Andrea, I mean, what's your? I mean, also I want to ask you about this, about using this as a shuttle spot, but also I want to ask you about the badged members only element of it. I mean, what was your first take when you heard about that?
How are they gonna? How the logistics, I'm going to be really, to see security, if it's going to be SDPD or if it's going to be event staff, or how they're going to do it, because they said it's not going to be tap in, right, until you get to the convention center. So I'm not sure how they're going to enforce that. But
okay, when they turned around and said they're going to build the wall in San Diego, I don't think this is quite what they meant.
That brings it to a whole nother level. Sorry.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
have to mute myself on that one.
Yeah, exactly. But it seems as though that the railroad tracks are a natural barrier.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're going to have that where the gates come down as being, I suspect that'll be a primary bottleneck spot. And it will be interesting to see how they manage that crowd to get through there with the trains.
Sure. The other question that came through as well, let me just turn the screen share off so I can jump in on this. The other question that came up as well, which I don't know if has been answered yet. Somebody asked a question, and unfortunately Gil Cabrera has left our chat room, and it would be great if we could have got an answer to this. If you've got a badge for a day outside of the day that you've actually got, so say, for example, you're wanting to meet up with friends, you're in town, and you have, say, for example, a Thursday and a Sunday badge, but you're wanting to meet up with somebody on Friday and Saturday, are you not going to be able to get into that area at all? How are they going to police that? How are they going to administrate that?
They're not going to go into they're not going to go into be able to go into those kinds of details. I think we're all going to just have to play that one by ear, and all. But I think one of the interesting things, you know, is if they move the shuttle spots, the shuttle bus spots to the road, which is between the convention center and the railroad tracks, then they're going to have to let people. Well, they won't have to let people, but that may limit people to the shuttle bus stops.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's that.
Because, yeah.
There's how do people queue up for, say, for example, the everyday line? Where does that get administrated? I mean, another big question as well is the Harbour Drive will be closed to traffic, but up to 9 o'clock in the evening. How are they going to orchestrate it? It's just going to be
right.
I mean, number one, I'm guaranteeing there are meetings about this. I think left, right, and center, but
right. I think that's why it's taken them so long to do that, is because so long to implement this plan. I forget who said this. Perhaps it was somebody was talking about this last week. Regardless, I mean, how to get the parking people into the underground. I mean,
that's done there in the blue.
Right, that's well thought out, and I'm just saying that's an example of the thinking that has gone ahead on this. But with all Comic-Con plans, we fans have had a tendency of mucking things up.
Ain't we just?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, shall we start talking about Funko exclusives, or are there any other questions? Because Andrea's going to talk about the Funko.
Fair enough. We can do that. I mean, very, very quickly. Let me just see what I've clicked on here. Just make sure I'm not bringing the chat box up. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are asking about how it becomes a members only area, and that's going to be in the grass area, how it affects offsites. But I think it's just down to who's actually going to orchestrate this. That, I think, is going to be the big question. So that's where we're going to have to just see. Well, I mean, we're going to have to see this thing in operation. It's as simple as that. We're just going to have to go from there.
Extra time would be my
absolutely
my idea.
Okay. Well, I mean, the next thing.
Funko.
We'll do Funko. We'll do Funko because no, that's fine, because the two things that I wanted to talk about is we also want to get onto San Diego Comic-Con official merchandise, which was announced this week as well.
Yeah, but Funko first.
Fair enough. Good grief, woman. Okay, fair enough. In that case, let me just open up this, and we'll work our way through the various bits and pieces. Let me see if that's actually going to allow me to share that.
Everybody, while you're looking that up, everybody, I wish that we could have done the hangout from downstairs where Andrea's apartment because she's got a massive, massive Funko wall that I was hoping we could get as the backdrop for this. So I'm sure that she has gone through all of the Funko stuff.
Yes.
Have you? Yes.
I have a problem. I should go to meetings.
I'm kind of struggling here. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, so what is the most, Andrea? Which ones are your must-have of the regular Funko exclusives that they've announced? Which ones?
Right now, the Mad Max ride pop is just gorgeous. That one is one of my favorites, and I'm a big Dragon Ball Z person, so the metallic Whis is gonna be one that I might have to get in line for. I don't normally do that, but that looks really cool.
So you're planning on going and either doing the lottery if they do a Funko lottery, or you're planning on going to and seeing if you can get a wristband for a time slot.
Yeah, I've never done it before. I usually just try to get the shared exclusives online at like 6 or 7 in the morning when they go up, or just pay eBay prices. But I was thinking about queuing up this year, but I think they probably are already in line. Every year it gets earlier and earlier.
Why not? I mean, let's see. Graham Small wants the Red Hood, Iron Man, Thor, and Valkyrie. I can never pronounce that.
Yes, that Taika Waititi pop. Oh my goodness. I think it's a really small run though. If I remember reading that correctly, it's like 500 or something, I think.
Yeah.
So the have they designated the ones that are not shared pops? That was the thing that always got me with Funko, is that they had so many. It seemed like 3/4 of the pops were shared with Hot Topic, etc., versus the ones that were limited to being only sold at San Diego. Have they gone through that at all? That breakdown of where other pops are going to be sold at?
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
Any of that information, but most of them are usually shared. So you just say it's a different sticker.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How you doing, Leonard?
I'm not gonna lie. I am kind of struggling because thanks to Google Hangouts being delightfully restrictive in what I can actually share. I can't actually bring up the a paint window, or sorry, a photos window, so I can't actually share that, which is really kind of annoying. But so let's go through. I mean, we've got ourselves the announcements as per the blog. I mean, let's have a look. I mean, you pointed out a couple which were rather cute. I mean, I think like you said, the movies one was rather cute, and yes, that's the Nux car. It's 5,000 piece, and I do quite like the box as well. It's not in your traditional Funko kind of livery. It's a windowed box. It is very much more of an all black box, which is rather nice. Yeah, I mean, I quite like that Scott Pilgrim 2-pack as well, which is rather cute. But for myself, if I'm really kind of jumping out, I quite like the Loungefly Porg bag, which is rather nice. Yes. And yeah, here we are, Taika Waititi, 3,000 piece, in his rather funky pineapple outfit. Marvel was the one which actually had the most pops in that most amount in one release, to be honest.
I will, just to go back to Loungefly for a moment. Last year, I bought a bag. I bought a Star Wars bag from Loungefly, and they had 2 booths. One in the middle of the floor, and the other was by the pop booth. They sold the exclusive bag at the Loungefly booth that was close to the Funko booth. So you don't have, just go there if you're interested in this Porg bag, which looks totally cute. What's the one?
I'm actually after with this. I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie.
Can you go down for one? And what's
Sure,
that
sure.
one?
Ah, yes, the Jabba's Palace, which is rather nice.
Ooh, I may have to get that one.
Now, I mean, it does rather. I mean, it says for both of them, this style is also available at Entertainment Earth, and that's also the same for the Porg one as well. Now, this one here is 400 limited edition. The Porg the mini pack is 500. So yeah, it's basically first come first serve. I mean, the other half got a Loungefly bag last year, and she still uses it. It's very high quality, very very nice indeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Star Trek bag, the Star Wars bag that I got, the larger backpack, is I would use it on a daily basis. It is that sturdy.
Yeah. As for the rest, to be honest, not a great deal is jumping out at me. I mean, there's nothing that I've just kind of gone, I have to have this. If that makes sense. There's been a couple where I've just gone, yeah, that's cute, yeah, that's nice, I quite like that. There was the Flash one, which was rather cool. I even quite liked the Saga one for the first time. The rock candy, which kind of threw me, that I quite liked a rock candy one. But I also quite like the James Wan pop as well. So the director series are rather cute, but that actually does kind of imply that we are going to be seeing, well, I mean, we really already know James Wan is going to be there for Aquaman in Hall H on the Saturday. So yeah, all well and good. And
the Conan Funkos were also revealed.
Yes, indeed. Now this is where I haven't got that up because I forgot that we were going to be talking about that.
I will. I mean, there were two Conan pops, which now I'm not a. Y'all know I'm not a big. Yeah, my Midwest is coming out. What can I say? I'm not a big Funko fan here, but two of those Conan Funko Pops were pretty amazing. I'm going to have to rely on Andrea to remind me which ones those were.
The Predator and the Hellboy.
I'm just going to try and find them. Here we are. Let's bring this up.
Oh my, that one, like last year I picked out one Conan Funko Pop that I really wanted. That's the one that I want, the Predator one. That's the one on the far right-hand side with the hair.
Yeah.
And the mask.
I quite like the Ant-Man. I'm not going to lie. I quite like the Ant-Man, and I quite like the Star Wars.
Yeah, the Hellboy is really cute too. But if I had to choose one...
So basically, you're going to have to explain to Conan O'Brien that your favorite one of his is where he's wearing a mask. Fair enough.
Totally. I'll do it. You know, I got cojones.
So
I wouldn't be driving across country by myself if I didn't. Let me put it to you that way.
Fair enough.
So do we think we can rely on these pops as the guests? Also, like the Predators movie, Paul Rudd, maybe for Ant-Man. Like, I feel like that's been a thing.
It's a good question, and yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, we've been waiting on. I mean, it's a film that hasn't really been discussed too much, which is the new Hellboy. At the end of the day, it's been filming for a while now, and all they need to do is just bring him out. He's going to be in town for Stranger Things anyway. Yeah. Let's do it. So yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that one. Certainly the Hellboy one.
Yeah, but I think I saw a post that they were not doing a panel in the convention center.
Correct.
Did you guys see that? The company that's making the new Hellboy movie, that they're not going to be present, which I thought was strange.
It's Hellboy. Lionsgate that said they're not coming.
Thank you, Graham. Yeah, it's always interesting to me how that, how whether or not they give away the pops, and how they do it. I was able to get one of the pops at, well, no, but I was able to get a pop at the Wrecked barge last year, one of Robert's activations. They were giving away one of the pops, and I think it was one. I'm not sure if it was one of the Conan pops or I forget which one it was. Regardless, so they do have other things, and plus they had that little the Wandering Minstrel up by Horton Plaza.
Well, yeah, I mean they may change that this year because they did have a pop-up element where they just did it on social media. We're going to be here, and wasn't someone's arm broken? As the swarm of people just Andrea remembers that. Yeah, it got mental. Stuff. It got mental. Obviously, I think they're really going all in on their Instagram. So do follow them at Conan Con on Instagram. So I think if you're going to hear it anywhere first, it's going to be on there. Okay. Cool.
I'm only going to get one T-shirt. I'm just announcing that right now.
Are we going to? Well, that's where I'd like to dive into that, and I've got all the images ready to go, and it's not going to let me open that up. So if you want to talk very quickly about the merchandise, certainly in terms of how to actually order it, I'll actually go onto the actual site. So
sure, I will talk about that. It is through your member ID. You only are able to place one order. So make sure you have everything if you want the tiki cups or the bags or the pins, and we'll get into specifically what those are, or the T-shirts. Make sure that you place them all at one time. I think that's going to mess a few people up. It certainly would me. The primary shirt is the Catwoman shirt. I've heard mixed reviews about this. Andrea
I like it as well. Yeah,
I'm kind of meh. I'm not so big on that Catwoman, and I think that's what it boils down to. I'm not a fan of. Wasn't that the Halle Berry Catwoman?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Nice.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Sorry.
Oh.
Well, it's Michelle Pfeiffer, but it's also the it's nicely tied in with the whole the wedding, which is their big event running currently at the moment in DC. I'm a huge Joel Jones fan anyway. So I do like the way that the whip just follows the circle of the logo. I like it. I
do like the design of it. It is a nice design, and I prefer something that's a little bit smaller than something that's as large as the Daredevil shirt that I've got. These seem pretty straightforward. I do like the blue SDCC shirt, or the college shirt. I think that's a nice change from the gray shirt that I believe they had last year.
It's a good color design, isn't it? It's a good color contrast.
And that orange just really does pop. I think and that stressed look I really enjoy. This is an interesting concept. The gray on black. I actually made had a jacket made up for a bunch of my stagehand friends years ago, and it was this black on black, and I love the subtlety of this. I wonder though how it's going to sell.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to sell well. I could be totally wrong, and what do I know? I'm not in marketing, but
very quickly, someone's asking who's the art. This is Swag Collector. Who's the artist on the Catwoman shirt? That's Joel Jones, with colors from Laura Aldred. So it's a superstar lineup they've got to do this thing. And then we've got this, which is my favorite.
Yes, my favorite too. Absolutely. That's that is the one shirt, the one thing that I am going to allow myself to purchase is that one.
That one's going to sell so quickly.
Oh, I know. That's why. Oh, you're right. I got to get to that. That one is totally. I wasn't as impressed by the bags.
No.
They're
bags. I mean, there's not a great deal else we can.
They
can't sex these up anymore, can we?
Mm-hmm.
The caps.
I love the gray cap.
Yeah.
I mean, you
No,
feel
that's
free
nice.
to speak up.
Yeah, no, I don't understand the red on the book bag. I feel like it clashes. I don't know. I don't like that. That's kind of weird color choice for that.
Yeah.
Okay. And
My favorite. Tiki mug.
what is it about tiki mugs,
I'm like
man?
the only person, I think. I love these things.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, these are two designs that have been put together by the guy that designed the toucan, Rick Geary. And it's also a little bit of shameless self-promotion as well, because the Victorian murderer is actually a character from one of his books. So it's a nice little self-promotion for his own work there. But they're okay. Tiki mugs. I mean, it's who else is selling tiki mugs? Mondo. Yeah.
And I think Entertainment Earth has some as well.
Shock, horror, surprise. Okay.
I like the toucan tiki mug.
And it's dishwasher safe.
You know, I'm not going to get one, but money is tight for me. But I would consider the toucan just because it, as somebody said to me, I was like, it was the year of the Batman T-shirt, and somebody said, you know, I said, I was talking to somebody in line, and they were like, you know, do I get a Batman shirt or a toucan shirt? And they were like, where are you ever going to see a toucan shirt again? You know, these will not come up again, these kinds of things. So that's, you know, that's the one, in my opinion, the one reason to look at these. But on to the next thing, the pins. This is interesting, the fact that they're actually selling these pins this year.
At $11 each.
But it's huge. Like it's like double the size of last year's.
Yeah, she got her pin already.
Okay.
Can you go
I'll
get that?
grab it.
She's going to go get it and show it to you. Just so that you understand how big it is. But the fact that they're actually selling, so you can get the one that you didn't have.
It's a clever way of getting some money in.
Yes.
Frankly.
Yeah, I thought it was, you know, it was interesting, and doing the toucan pin. I thought that was kind of a brilliant idea.
Oh my word, it's huge.
Yeah. Go. Yeah, right up to that. That's it. Yeah.
Just for scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just, and does it have two? I'm just looking at it in the back.
Yes.
It's got two pins. So you know how some of them have got, secure. You could make sure that it's going to be A, secure, and B, stay the correct way.
Wow. So, okay.
Yeah, if I don't get, I think what I'm waiting for to order my shirt is to see whether or not I get the 2018, the toucan pin in my box.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, swag collector, I've got an extra astronaut pin.
Oh man. Okay. Very quickly,
I will trade it with you if I don't.
Okay. Very quickly then, let's talk about where you can get them. You'll be able to get those in Hall A of the Pacific Ballroom, which is the new expanded convention space, which is at street level, at the outside the Marriott Marquis and Marina, which, I mean, I was thinking they were going to do more with that space, but it does seem to be more kind of like the administration, as it were, for San Diego Comic-Con. So yeah, there we go. Cool. I mean, admittedly, we also saw some gaming areas in there. There was a nice little pinball space in that room there last year, which was rather cool. But yeah, that's where you can pick up your merch. Get it ordered now, because it is available via your member ID. Dive in and order it the best you can. Okay. What else would we? Where's my script?
The next thing we've got going is the week in television. Okay. Unless there's anything else, and people can feel free to post it on the chat box. We'll circle back for it. But tonight is huge. We've got both The Preacher comes back, and we've got the season finale of Westworld. So everybody, every geek, self-respecting geek is going to be watching TV tonight. Except for me, I'm going to be somewhere in the middle of Kansas visiting Toto. Just because. My dad said, I'm on a chat with my family, and my dad said, say hi to Dorothy and Toto for me. And my 12-year-old nephew said, hi, Toto. And we're like, no, do you not get the Wizard of Oz reference there? You're too young.
Kids today, man. What can you do with them?
Exactly. But really looking forward to Preacher. Speaking of that, Melanie, MLGAGNG, I can never pronounce her name, her forum name, did a fabulous character study. She's an actor, trying to be an actor in LA. And she did an amazing character study. If you've read on the blog, if you've read her previous character study on The Walking Dead, the guy on the motorcycle who everybody loves, Daryl. Thank you. Yes, I need you. Totally. She did a fabulous character study on him. I'd recommend going and checking that out. She did a character study on Cassidy. Love Cassidy. Who doesn't love Cassidy? Who doesn't love Daryl? So I would highly recommend that. And Westworld, I have not been keeping up on that one. Have you, Leonard? Are you
no?
Westworld?
Right. The two shows I've been really excited about this year have been Legion and Westworld. Legion, I watched religiously. That show. Westworld, on the other hand, I watched the first episode. And yes, I was excited that it's back. I've saved it all on my DVR, on my Sky, because it's shown here on Sky in the UK, on Sky Atlantic. And you can actually save programs onto a mobile device. I'm going to be binging the whole lot over my 16-hour flight to get to San Diego. So I'm going to be doing the whole season in one, because I did it with American Gods last year and I had a blast. Just lock myself in.
That's what I'm planning on doing with Legion.
Yeah, so you're just going to sit there and fart through the entire flight, right? Okay. Westworld.
Hi, Caroline.
No, she'll probably be sitting a bit somewhere else. Anyway, but moving on. Some person that's going to be sat next to me just elbowing me and what? No, I'm just going to watch Westworld. I'm just going to lock myself in.
Are you watching?
I was just looking at Richard's mom just said they have a friend from the SDCC board, and there will be scanners to the entrances at Harbor, and people that don't have badges for that day won't be able to get through. So if you only have a Saturday badge and you want to queue up Friday, you're out of luck.
In other words, it's what Andrew Dickinson said, because Andrew Dickinson actually, this is what he does. He does IT and kind of crowd management and that kind of thing. And he suggested that that's what it was going to be. It's going to be like a second level of RFID scanners. Interesting.
But I didn't think
that they were going to have the administration, the facilities, the funds, and the staff to do it. Okay. If that's what's going to happen, wow.
Interesting. Sir Lister of Smeg says, an interesting way to deal with lines.
True.
Combat lines.
But couldn't somebody just come in from the back harbor side? Because it's going to be open to the public because of the offsites, and that's where the Hall H line is.
How are they going to do it?
Leonard, I will say that Leonard and I are planning on doing something. Doing a walkthrough of the facility, not through the facility, but around the facility, a day or 2 or 3 beforehand. So we'll try and scout it out and publish that.
Very quickly, if you do want to actually watch something now, Park and Cons, were affiliated, of course, with the unofficial blog. They've got themselves a walkthrough that they've done as well, but ours will be a little bit closer to the actual time, so they'll have some more of the actual Comic-Con restrictions in place, as it were. So it'll be a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll have some mobile devices, so we'll be for everybody. With regards to that, I'm not sure quite when that's going to be. And of course, Kendall Whitehouse says, does that mean there's going to be no next day lines this year? You got the nail. You got the hammer with the nail there.
Maybe the next day line will be outside the perimeter. Isn't that what CCI have been trying to avoid all this time? Oh, man. Okay.
There's a lot of questions, and, you know, we're just going to have to roll with it, guys.
I think it's a great idea, though. Like, I love the idea of that street being closed because security was constantly yelling at people to get out of the road. And so, I mean, it was a big problem. So I just...
and it was hell getting through that center section in front of the convention center. So where the steps and that glass elevator was, getting around that, it was like 2-lane traffic in the front of the convention center. So I really think that that's going to be a good shortcut to go outside of the hall to get to the other end of the venue.
Yeah.
So one other quick thing that I wanted to mention before we leave Weekend TV is The Expanse has got its season finale happening this week. I believe it's Wednesday. There is some event happening. I believe it's Saturday or Sunday. No, it's Saturday or Friday, either Friday or Saturday. Well, no, it's not. It's closed to the public, and it's going to be. And it was today or tomorrow, for an airing of The Expanse. Michael P. is going to be broadcasting that, so he should have his review done on that. Hopefully, once the embargo is lifted. So we should be hearing about what has happened with the final party for The Expanse shortly. And then the big one, which is, it was Friday, says Michael P. He's on the chat. I'll get the full story tomorrow or day after tomorrow when I see him. My days are all mixed up. And the big thing, I've been getting into Timeless.
Oh dear. Oh dear, what a shame.
Yes.
That's great timing. Well done.
I know, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? I can only hope, in the vein of Lucifer and The Expanse, that Timeless will be renewed. Please, 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 or at least a movie.
Well, just out of curiosity, I mean, I'm not a massive Timeless fan, so someone's going to have to help me out here. Please, on the Q&A, jump in by all means. What is the connection with Sony? Are Sony the producers, or are they no connection with Timeless? Because they went all out. They just, on the Sony official Twitter, they showed huge support, as in we feel you, we support you. And at which point, surely someone would turn around and go, one and one. Yeah, so like, come on.
I think the Sony production company.
Okay.
Was making Timeless.
So who's closed it down? Who's cancelled it?
The network. The Sony. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think that's I don't understand television as much as I should. Because I have a life.
Ouch.
I know, it's brutal. I'm brutal. Well, I may or may not have been going through some stuff recently.
This is true. You have been a tad busy. Let's be fair. Okay. I mean, I think the other thing that we can quickly talk about as well is Westworld, which has its season finale as well tonight.
I tried to get you into talking about that earlier, because I have not been following Westworld.
Oh, sorry. Was that the cue for me?
Yes, that was the cue for you to to go on.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, yes, Westworld, it comes to its season finale tonight. This is Sunday evening. It's a 90-minute special, which interests me, if anything, because the way that the pacing for the episodes have been, it's incredibly tight for that hour episode so far. Taking it to an extra half an hour to an hour and a half, I'm not sure how you're going to decompress that. So we'll see how that happens. But no, that's the season finale, and as far as I'm aware, it has been confirmed for a third. So no surprise
there.
Yeah, onwards we go. I mean, what's the kind of shows, Andrea, that you've been kind of paying attention to? What's been your?
This is my like favorite thing right now, and I've got to catch up because I believe there was just a new episode. Because it's mid-season finale and chopping the seasons up, it confuses me. I like the old days where we had a season and then it was gone and it came back. Because then I don't know when stuff. So that's why I'm glad you guys always do this week in TV, because I'm like, oh, yep, I gotta watch that. Yep. But I've been on a lot of movies lately. I've got to catch up on a lot of TV.
Speaking of movies, just briefly, if you happen to be in Kansas City, she took me to her favorite movie theater. We walked in, and there was a list of probably 20 draft beers on tap, and sandwiches, and pinball machines, and old style console games. It was just a really nice place to hang out. What was the name of that?
It's called Screenland Theaters, and they have a couple in the city, but this particular one's Screenland Armor, and it's locally ran, and it's just fantastic people. They do fun events for movie releases. They always have specialty cocktails themed to the movie.
I had what was it, a Goldblum peach, and I was just like, well, I'm going to see Jurassic World. You know, I've got to have the Goldblum cocktail. I don't care if it's day drinking. You know, I'm just going to suck it up.
You're a bad influence on the young and impressionable. That's all I can say.
Absolutely.
It's terrible. I think that one other thing as well that I wanted to very quickly bring up as well, and this is where someone else is going to have to jump in if anyone's watched them all already, which is Luke Cage season 2, which dropped this week. People are talking about it, but not, I think, as not as voraciously as I expected, because I've been hearing incredibly good reports about this season, but it's been through a very small minority of people. It wasn't the massive explosion that that first season was, and I'm trying to work out if there is some kind of drop off that we're currently seeing when it comes to Netflix. I don't know, ladies.
I just watched episode 1 and it was amazing. Like right on pace with season 1.
Is it a case of people are wanting now to just kind of like take it a little bit slower and just kind of?
Possibly. I was worried because I was not happy with Jessica Jones season 2. I just did not like it at all, and so I was scared that it was gonna be bad. But the first episode's awesome. Like, if you loved Luke Cage season 1, just based on this first episode, it's hitting all the high notes.
Fair enough. Considering from what I've been hearing is that the least interesting thing about Luke Cage season 2 is Luke Cage. All the supporting characters, all the supporting characters are just the things to pay attention to. So,
he's awesome, and the music is great again, like in that first episode. But yeah, I'll go have coffee with him anytime.
Oh yeah, he's totally absolutely. I'll go full blown supper.
Yeah,
totally. He's a sweetheart. I enjoyed the little bit of it that I saw. Somebody had said that maybe it's the superhero fatigue. Or it could be the binging. We're just getting tired of binging things. So it could be one or the other of those. And there is so much to watch. There's so much out there. So.
Someone's jumping in. I'm just replying as well. This is a swag collector who's just finished Star Trek Discovery. Absolutely loving it. No, we don't all have to watch it the week it comes out. That's the thing about streaming. We can watch when we like. And yes, you can. If you've just finished it, you're catching up and discovering. Yes, it is. I wasn't convinced at the beginning of the season. I didn't feel it had the essence of Star Trek, which I felt Roddenberry was wanting to bring. But it evolved and became its own show, and certainly by the back end of the season I was blown away. Is it going to be showing up at San Diego Comic-Con? I'm paying attention to a lot of the main actors of that, especially Jason Isaacs and all of them that make. It'd be great if they did. It really would be. At the end of the day, they have announced that it's coming back, so it's going to be. There's something. I mean, this could be a Netflix content, but it's like I'm just typing out here. It's a great question. I'm asking the same question about Lost in Space because I loved that. I thought that was a great adaptation as well. So who knows? At this point, it's now down to schedules, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about. Schedules start rolling out. Let me have a look at my.
Aren't on the script.
No, they're not.
We're talking about schedules.
No, they're not. Let's have a look.
Hey, none of that. None of that. We're PG. Come on.
Fair enough. Okay. We're not talking next week. We are talking the week after. And we will be going and breaking down schedules. But people have been asking when the schedules are going to be announced, and they are usually announced 2 weeks before, and they are announced day to day over the course of a weekend, mirroring the actual day of the convention. So we'll get the Wednesday and Thursday on you get the Wednesday on the Wednesday, Thursday and Thursday, etc., and you're going to be.
That means that the Wednesday, the first day of con, Wednesday, is on the 18th. 2 weeks before that is the 4th of July.
Correct.
Nice.
How about that for timing?
Joy.
Busy. Yeah. So there we go. Lots of stuff to talk about, but people have been asking me about schedules. You're traditionally looking at 2 weeks before. So people have been also asking you, are we going to be getting David from San Diego Comic-Con on again? Unlikely is the question I'm going to say to that. But I mean, we could ask, but it's unlikely this year. So who knows? Right, I think that's pretty much us. Is there anything else, ladies, that you want to kind of jump in on?
I will just briefly say I'm going to have to be taking, I'm going to be leaving Leonard to his own devices next week. So hopefully he will get, I was pushing kind of for an episode with maybe Mark Serby to kind of go over what some of the new movies that were coming out. We saw a couple of good previews, amazing previews. Do you remember what that?
Yeah, and I cannot remember the name of the one that was so gorgeous with the.
Yeah. Anyway, no. Don't. Anyway, so we may be able to get Mark Serby on next week to counterpoint and kind of go over some of the highlights for some of the media stuff that But we'll announce that later on. I will be in the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. Doing, I think I've termed it as an introvert's retreat in preparation for the busyness of San Diego. So enjoy. I won't even be able to join you guys on chat, I think. So I did want to just let you guys know that ahead of time.
Okay, well, considering I'm going to be announcing that it's very possible that I'm not going to be on the Hangout on the 8th.
I will take the 8th. You got this one. And so we're looking for somebody to help us.
Yes, very possibly because I may be in the air. But it depends on when I'll be able to get my flights sorted out. Yes, I haven't got my flight sorted out yet. That's how bad funds have been for me this year. We have had Swag Collector asking, how did my pop sales go to fund the flights? The pops sold, and they sold to the value, more or less, of the flights. However, because of the way that eBay works, I've got 2 of the payments in standby. They're processing, and that happens on Thursday, apparently. It's getting so close, man. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, by next weekend, hopefully, I'll have kind of something in place, and we'll go from there.
Don't worry about the 8th. We'll cover you, and I'm sure that we'll have what do we think? This is our therapy session. We'll go on without you, our group therapy session. So I'm sure we'll be fine.
Fair enough. Solicitor Smeg. What's that? Sorry.
I just wanted to throw one thing out there. So I don't know if you guys know Netflix is getting into the comics game. And they, I just picked up the Magic Order this week, and it's really good. So I'm fingers crossed for a Netflix comics panel, like just to show what they're rolling out. But I think it's really interesting that they've decided to throw their hat in the ring in the comic industry.
I was thinking perhaps they may team up with Image on this one because they are distributing through Image. This is Mark Miller's and Olivia Copiel's book. Yeah, it is very good, isn't it?
Gorgeous.
Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. Yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, it's the deal that they've done with Miller World, and it then becomes a question of whether there's going to be more titles from that deal coming out, or if they're going to do more deals with other creatives. Who knows? Fingers crossed. We've also got a question. When do you think the online exclusive lottos will start?
Oh.
Can we even think about announcing or talking about this? I mean, I am going to really kind of risk it by saying this week.
I don't know.
I think we're going to see something this week, purely because they're getting the merchandise out of the way.
Yeah.
And they're opening up the portals. I think we're going to see something this week. The autographs, not just yet, but I think we will start to see some exclusive stuff this week.
Well, and when are Conan
I'm gonna get lynched for that.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Conan's
not up yet, and I'm getting like really nervous.
He said, I think the best advice would be to make sure that you've got all your Twitter alerts going.
Okay, well that's a question then. We'll go for Andrea first. Can you pick 2 Twitter feeds that you follow religiously?
Yeah, you and the unofficial blog. Yeah, that's my alerts are on. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Now I'm gonna have to change it. It's the forum, and yeah.
No, it's
never
okay.
mind.
It's okay.
Fair enough. For myself, I'll let Alyssa have a think about it. But for myself, I would say, I mean, certainly my notifications are on for unofficial blog, San Diego Comic-Con, Funko. I did have my notifications on for Mattel until they announced that they are not going to be doing pre-sales for people outside of the connected US. You swines. So there's that. And Conan at the moment is who I've got no notifications on. So that's who I'm with. Alyssa, who do you recommend?
I'm not following, since I don't do a lot of the exclusives. The only exclusives that I'm interested in is that one Funko, Conan Funko, and some stuff from IDW. So the only person I'm following at this point is San Diego Comic-Con. They seem to be pretty much right on it. But I'm also not really in the San Diego mindset yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, I'm with you on that one. Okay, fair enough. Cool. I think we'll just wrap things up then, and we will say, ladies, where can people follow you and find you online?
I am Super Cat Chick with a K on all of the things.
She's yes, especially her Twitter account is Super Cat Chick. I my autocorrect made a mistake. May I mention that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My autocorrect made a mistake. She is not Scat Chick, but Super Cat Chick. Just beware. And it's, scat, like I took it as the music term.
Yes.
The music term and not the pooping term. So there you go. There we go. I know, Swag Collector, not in the San Diego mindset. I will get there. I'm making my way there now. Like I said, Introverts Retreat, and then I'll be on. I did want to just laugh out loud for Leanne D, who said, "Please support this hangout by supporting Leonard's Patreon account." But first, I will tell you that you can find me at Friends of CCI is my Twitter handle. And of course, on the forum, my name is Alyssa. You could just run a search for me. And hopefully we won't have any problems with the forum.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, that question, are we not in the San Diego Comic-Con mindset yet? We're at our level of the San Diego Comic-Con mindset, which is still pretty intense. Wait till we're at 100%. We become insufferable very quickly. So yeah, trust me, we're getting there. Right, so for myself, you can follow me on Englishman SDCC on the social medias, and you can also follow on Facebook at facebook.com/an Englishman in San Diego. Englishman in San Diego. You can also follow the Patreon as well. Like I say, I'm going to try and get some more exclusive stuff up, including that interview with Paul Shipper, who's an incredible artist, did the artwork for D23 and also Star Wars Celebration last year. Great artist, and I'm going to get that posted up in the next couple of days, and you can find that at patreon.com/EnglishmanSDCC. Right, back again next week. It's going to be myself and insert mystery guest here. So we'll get somebody interesting to join us. You never know, it may be something like this week where we got an interesting email through the post, and we'll get someone interesting on for next week. Either way, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be worthwhile you joining us next Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. From us to you, I hope your preparations are going well, and we will see you in 3 weeks' time.
Yes, personally and in person. And yes, we are excited about San Diego.
We are. We'll see you in 7 days for another episode of Talkin Comic-Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.